let's go through some more of these games for this week. And the Steelers and the Eagles, no question, at the top of the charts along with the Bills and the Lions. We know the discomfort that's been in Philly this week with A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Graham saying they don't like each other. Everybody walked back all of those things the following day. Yesterday, all of them walked it back. A.J. Brown said we got no problems. Brandon Graham said he was sorry. Nick Sirianni said there was no problems. Jalen Hurts said there's no problems. There's only one thing Jalen Hurts cares about, Scotty. This is all he wanted to say yesterday. All I care about is that we win. I don't care if the passing numbers aren't great. I don't care that somebody says I don't like me. All I care about is winning football games.
It's about the team. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care how it looks. It's kind of my game, and I think that's something that people have to accept, that it's going to look how Jalen Hurts wants it to look. But he's going to win.
There you go. They want to win. Who doesn't?
Everyone wants to win. They have won 9 in a row as well. So you would think there wouldn't be that much problems there, but there are for the Eagles. On the Steelers side of things, looks like another week without George Pickens. So who's got to step up? There's a couple candidates. Maybe Calvin Austin can be one of those guys to fill the role for Pickens.
It's hard to say anybody is similar to GP. Yeah. So he creates himself you really can't emulate that from anyone. So like I said, it's going to be players and coaches putting us in the best positions, and we're taking advantage of the positions that we are put in. But everybody in the receiver room has a different skill set, different strengths, and the coaching staff knows that, and they know how to put us in position to be able to show that.
All right, whatever that means. All I know is that he's going to get some looks. So is everybody else. Have you not noticed that Russell Wilson's been throwing to like 8 to 10 different guys every week? I mean, this guy throws to, I'm surprised he doesn't throw to fans, honestly, because he's just throwing it to everybody. And I'll tell you one thing. I said it to Kincaid from the Fanatic in Philly the other day. Look, he's throwing better than Hurts is. He's like, I won't deny the Eagles are good. I won't deny that. I said the Eagles have beat the Lions in the NFC title game. I don't deny how tough they are at the Link. But I do believe that Russell Wilson is playing better than him right now, hands down.
The Steelers have not won in Philadelphia since 1965. That has been well documented this week, too. But how about this one that I don't think we've mentioned this week? Did you know that Russell Wilson is 6-0 against the Eagles in his career? He has never lost. We'll take the Russell Wilson one. He has something. One of these streaks is ending. And maybe it is that the Steelers haven't won in Philly since 1965.
I was born in 65.
Russell Wilson now has the 5th most regular season wins in NFL history for a quarterback in their first 13 seasons. Only Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Brett Favre, and Big Ben have more. And one more note for you. The Steelers are the only team in the NFL that have undefeated team against teams with a winning record. They have not lost to a team with a winning record all year, the Steelers. That's how good they have been. And that will be challenged, as you know, over the next 11 days starting Sunday, where you have clearly Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs over those 11 days.
All three have winning records, and, you heard Tomlin yesterday on the show. We're prepared to play the Eagles, and then we'll worry about the next step when we get to it.
Lions are now 12-1 this season. They have won 11 games in a row as they get ready to take on the Buffalo Bills at Ford Field. So you would think all of that winning, you're ever going to get a chance to let up. They really can't, because everyone in the NFC is right on top of them, despite their 12-1 record. Eagles, Vikings right behind them. So Dan Campbell says, we got to keep our foot on the gas here the last 4 games of the season.
I love it. I think it's great. I think it's great for us. I think, I think it does. It keeps you sharp. I think, I've mentioned this before. I think we do well with pressure, and it's the right kind of friction and stress that we need, and it's motivating. And so, I love it. I think it's great. And, look, nobody's going to lose. Nobody's losing. So we're going, man.
So how about this guy, the way he started? I know you have an incredible number of the way he started as the coach of the Lions and where he is now.
It says Dan Campbell could become, let me just tell you something, he will become the fourth head coach. Maybe not this week. I don't know if he's going to get that 13th win this week, but he'll get it at some point over the next 4 weeks. He'll get his 13th win. Fourth coach in NFL history to lead a team to 13 wins after losing 13 in his debut season. How about the other three names that have done that? You know Chuck Noll? You ever heard of him? Chuck Noll, Bill Walsh, and Jimmy Johnson. Dan Campbell will join that crew with one more victory this year for the Detroit Lions. That's pretty good company, I would say.
I mean, I think the Steelers and the Bills have their work cut out for them for certain on Sunday.
Yeah.
To win at the Link and to win at Ford Field is going to be brutally difficult, and we'll see if they can get it done. I mean, they could both come out of it 10-4. Maybe one of them wins. Maybe it's the Bills. Maybe it's the Steelers. But to play at those two places against those two teams, which I believe are going to be in the NFC title game, I think that's tough work if you can get it.
It is tough work if you can get it. Lions -2.5, 54.5. We gave you all the numbers yesterday, the highest total in the NFL this season. Since I won't be with you tomorrow, I'll tell you now, I think the Bills are going to win on Sunday. There you go. I think the Bills are going to go into Detroit. I do. I think it's going to be like last week's game against the Rams, but this time they'll come out on the right side of it. I think it'll be a crazy game just like last week, but this week they'll find their way. Because Detroit, remember, the last few weeks they've also been kind of pushing the line a little bit, right? The Packer game last week they could have lost.
Very close.
Bears on Thanksgiving Day, very close. So I think they're ready to get that second loss this season. And why not to the Bills on Sunday at Ford Field? So let's hope that we can get that done. Would be a nice way to finish off Sunday. Next, the biggest spread of the week, of course, is at MetLife, where the Ravens and the Giants are going to get together. Here is Lamar Jackson. Did you know, Scotty, 100th NFL game for Lamar Jackson coming up this Sunday? I know I can't believe it, and neither can he.
And that's what that means. 100 games? Dang. Bro, but, for me just being a dual-threat quarterback, they say we don't really last that long in the league. And for me to make it to 100 games, that's just dope, man. That's just God. God get all the glory for that. Thankful.
God get all the glory for that. He's right.
So what you're telling me is right now is that God is a Ravens fan, and that's why and what he's doing is he's letting the Steelers beat the Ravens all the time because he's blessing them, and that they're going to eventually beat the Steelers here in next weekend, and then if they meet in the playoffs, they're going to beat them again because God is a Raven fan, as opposed to the 8 Super Bowls that the Steelers have been to. You're telling me that those were all representative of the devil, of Beelzebub, that Satan is steering the Steelers bus, the Jerome Bettis bus, to all that postseason glory, and certainly not God. So that when the Steeler players at midfield after the game are praying, they're praying to a different God, apparently. Is that what you're telling me?
Well, it's like you always say. It seems like God roots for a lot of teams and a lot of players. He roots for a lot of teams and a lot of players.
Next Friday night with Jesus being there and everything, right on the building.
Last thing on the Ravens, still 16.5 for Sunday. Very, very big number with a 42.5 total in the game. The Giants,
I keep thinking
they're gonna get thumped.
The Dallas Giants last year, I keep thinking of that, right? That they were getting to 17 and they got whacked. They gave up 50. So I'm pretty certain that that's going to happen. The Ravens are coming off a bye, and they are literally on the verge of like slipping into a bad seed. So they have to take advantage of this game, and they have to come in here and kick their ass. That's all there is to it. And they are putrid. It's got to be.
They are putrid. I think the Ravens. I don't like laying numbers like that. If I had to, it's the Ravens because there's just too many things in their favor in this game. that I could not possibly go against them. The Chiefs, of course, have been playing close games every week. We heard Andy Reid talk about that earlier this week. Now why don't we hear Patrick Mahomes tell us about all the close games that the Chiefs have been playing?
I think when I'm not on the field, I'm nervous as well. So, I mean, I have total confidence in our defense and everything like that. But it's just when it's out of your hands, it's hard to not be a little bit nervous. But I think in the moment, when I get opportunities, I just try to execute the game plan, execute the play that's in front of me, not worry about the whole entire drive, and then get us into position to score and win the game, and then rely on my teammates to go out there and win it. And so it's obviously a lot of experience has helped me keep a calm mindset in those moments. But we continue to work and get better and just find ways to win, and whatever way that is, we're good with it.
Yeah, and then how about this guy? Am I crazy? But like Tomlin said, we're going to worry about Philly, and then when we cross that bridge, we'll deal with the next issue. And then when they asked the same question of this guy, Mahomes, he complained about the Chiefs having to play 3 games in 11 days, that they're not able to recover the injuries, no rest, no anything, and that it's totally unfair to the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, one guy is a P, that would be him, and the other guy is a man who says, we'll just deal with it as it comes.
Yeah, and that's the difference between Mike Tomlin and everyone else. Like that's part of what makes Mike Tomlin different. He's not going to complain about things like this, at least not publicly. He's going to always take the right angle on it. And Mahomes did say it was unfair. Now, look, it's unfair. It's not just unfair to the Chiefs. They're not the only team doing it. The Steelers, the Ravens, and the Texans are all playing 3 games in 11 days starting on Sunday. So it's not like they went and took the Chiefs and said, you guys got to go do this. So there's 4 teams that have to deal with it, and they will deal with it appropriately. And it's also another reason why I like, I've said it all week, I'm going to stay with it. I think the Browns are going to win on Sunday. I think they're going to beat the Chiefs for a variety of reasons. And one of them also is, if you look at this 3 games in 11-day block for Kansas City, this is the game that everyone would assume, this is the easy one. They're going to blow right through this one. And then they'll play the Texans and then the Steelers on Christmas Day. I don't think so. Not so fast, my friend. I like Jameis to have a good game and maybe not throw the pick 6 this time and actually get it done. So I'm still on the Browns here for this game outright, plus 4.5 and 43.5 total.
I've said it before. I hope you're right. I mean, I live for it. I hate the Chiefs, but I pray to God you're right, but I still don't think it happens.
Why? I had to get a little on your knee for me going into the weekend here. We'll get a little on your knee with the Browns and try to come out on the other side with it and see if we can make some good things happen. We always love – it would be great. We always love Jim Harbaugh on C2C as the Chargers get ready to face the Bucs this Sunday at SoFi. Here is Jim. One thing he wants to do is he wants the team to stay focused. We got to stay focused. We got a good team coming in. We got to stay very focused this week.
Just a big task, big game ahead, and it's Wednesday. We're midweek. We're putting the game plan together and then go out and practice it. And but mindset-wise, I would just say that it's to make today the best practice of the year. Drills, the best drills we've had. Walkthrough, make that the best walkthrough of the season. Meetings, make those the best of the season. That's our goal. That's our mindset for today.
Best of the season.
I think they get back on track this week, and then I think the only concern is Orange Sherbert's ankle.
And that is a problem. He's dealing with an ankle injury. Now, you sent me this. I know that Dr. Chow believes that that's high ankle, judging by looking at the film with him. And I know he's been limited at practice yesterday and today. Now, he's had some problems with this ankle all year, and he has seemingly played through it each time. So I would expect that probably again coming from him on Sunday with the Bucs coming to SoFi. The Chargers have allowed the fewest points this season. That's been for a few weeks now, too. 207. The Lions, Eagles, Broncos, and Steelers are right behind them in terms of defense this year And now everyone's played the same amount of games, too. Buys are over. Everyone has got the same amount of games, 13. So that gives you a better angle for that. Tampa is getting 3 at SoFi. This is in the late window, also 425 East. 45.5 is the total in this game.
Yeah, I think the Chargers get back on the horse and win after they lost last week. And I think Herbert will play anyway, despite the ankle, and he'll get it done, and their defense will clean it up.
Let's get to Joe Burrow next. Now, it was bad enough that Joe Burrow's house got robbed while he was in Dallas for Monday Night Football on Monday night. But then there was like a nonstop fever to get every single detail of the robbery out into the public, including his lady friend that I guess called the robbery in. Apparently, Joe was not a fan of not only being robbed, but of how people basically found all the details of his house robbery. Here's Joe Burrow.
I'll start out by saying something before any questions today. So obviously, everybody has heard what has happened. I feel like my privacy has been violated in more ways than one, and way more is already out there than I would want out there and that I care to share. So that's all I got to say about that. It's part of it. We live a public life, and one of my least favorite parts of that is the lack of privacy, and that has been difficult for me to deal with my entire career. Still learning, but I understand it's the life that we choose. Doesn't make it any easier to deal with.
Fair enough, but cry me a river. When you are a superstar athlete and you choose that path to be an athlete, and you're a star player, and you are paid what you are paid, there is no avoiding it, kid. It's just that simple. Like the lack of privacy, good luck. There'll never be privacy when you're famous. That's it. It's over. You're never going to get it. You can try all you want, and they're still going to pry into your life. They're going to follow you. They're going to bother you. You're going to get hounded no matter what. And here's another thing. Okay, it's one thing to be famous and to be a star quarterback in the NFL, which is automatic fame and fortune. It's another thing when you show up at the Met Gala wearing, the suitless back, you know what I mean? And then showing up at games with your fashion statements and your red carpet looks, trying desperately to gain more fame and attention with your fashion and your hair tips and your fancy clothes, and you're at the Met Gala. Like, you're just asking for it. Like, are you kidding me? Like, here's the deal. When I saw Mario Lemieux get drafted by the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 80s, this guy was so private. He wouldn't even talk to anyone. He wouldn't talk to the media. He pretended like he was French. He really didn't know English, but he ran with that for 12 years. He just wasn't approachable. He never went out in public or did anything ever. You couldn't get near him. It was you could cover him as a reporter in Pittsburgh at the arena, and that was it. After a game, you could ask him a question or two. That was it. They literally never let anyone near him. And I think this guy is incredible, but I think he's asking for it the way he lives. Let's just face facts. I mean, it's every week he shows up with some outfit on looking for attention. Like, you see Mike Tomlin, the way he rolls into a stadium? Guy shows up in sweats with a cup of coffee. Nobody cares about you when you're wearing sweats and you got a cup of Joe in your hand. But when you dress like Joe Burrow does in silk clothes and his, fancy movie theater outfit he had on the other day, Mike, you can't tell me I'm wrong. He's like, he thinks he's a movie star. He thinks he's a fashionista. I don't want to hear it. He asks for the attention. He's begging for it.
Well, stuff like that, I absolutely. Look, the thing with the girl, who it was that was at his house, getting out there. I don't think that that's something that should probably have to be broadcast everywhere. But the other side of it is when you're dating, not dating, whatever the deal is,
model.
A Sports Illustrated swimsuit model, and they see her name as the person that called in, they're going to put two and two together. Whereas if it's someone that isn't, nobody's going to know who it is. It's just,
Right.
I don't think it's right that everyone needed to know who was at his house when his house got robbed. I don't think that that's information that's necessary for everybody to know. I really don't. I get what Joe being upset about that.
And I agree with you. Here's another theory. Remember when Mahomes got robbed? He had already done an entire episode of like do it yourself. He was on TV showing the mansion that he was building and the football field and the the tennis courts and the saunas and the hot tubs and the pools and the 12 bedrooms and where it is in the gated community. He was like literally showing off his fame and fortune and all his money. And look at me. This is where I'm going to live. This is where I'm going to have movie theater in the house, elevators, all these guys. You remember MTV Cribs? I worked at MTV. I was at MTV for several years, and they used to have this show, MTV Cribs. Everybody got famous people to show them their fancy cribs, their houses. Like, you're just asking for it, bro. Like, here, look where I live. Look what I have. And then they know you have millions, and then they just come. They're like cockroaches, these robbers. They come right out in the middle of the night in the kitchen when the light gets turned on. They scram. Trust me, thieves are they're thicker than wool, right? Like, they're everywhere. These criminals, like, they're everywhere. You have people that are legit, and you have criminals. That's the way the world works.
A lot of high-profile NFL players getting their houses robbed. Don't go try that at Tua's crib.
Well, I have personal security just because my house had gotten broken into, not necessarily my house, but one of my cars. And so it's a little too close for my comfort with my family being in the house. So we got personal security to take care of all of that when we're on the road. We got someone with my wife, got someone also at the house surveying the house. So just to let that be known, they are armed. So I hope if you decide to go to my house, you think twice.
I mean,
yeah, listen, here's the thing,
laying it out,
Mike, is that, bad guys bring guns too. They come in with a 44, and they don't care who they kill. They'll kill your family. They want money. They don't care. They want your valuables, and they want money and things that they can cash for money. I mean, Christ, have you seen these people? What do you mean, you people? Have you seen them like do the catalytic converters right in your driveway? You're in there sleeping. They're under your car.
They cut them right out. Cut them right out.
I saw a car. Did you see the car thief the other day? Like somewhere in Jersey, two car thieves literally stole the car while they were inside eating dinner at the kitchen, dinner table. And they're out there. And these dudes drove right through the yard. Like, they went over the drive. The people came out chasing them. Like, the one guy jumped on the car hood. He's like, "Urgh." The guy was like, I'll kill you. I don't care if you're on the hood of the car. I'm gonna drive through your yard. I'm gonna do a donut. I'm gonna do a 360. I'm gonna drive 80 miles an hour. I'll kill you. I'll drive over you. I'll have you fall off the front of the car. Then I'm gonna drive over you with both axles. I'm gonna back up and do it again. And then I'm gonna drive off. And I'm going to take it to the port down in Newark, and I'm going to sell it to Africa, and I'm going to make 30 G's off of your ass. They are evil. They will come, they will kill you, and they don't care. They will kill you over a catalytic converter. And don't even tell me I'm tripping. I do play a cop on TV weekdays, 7 p.m.
There you go.
This is I've had 3 cars stolen.
Car.
Did he have a car stolen, your boy Prawns?
A month or two ago, month and a half ago, somewhere around there, that happened to him. Yeah. It was a couple blocks from his house. They found it. Here we go. The Dolphins actually have a chance to climb back to 500 this week and get to 7-7. They can do that in Houston against the Texans. The Texans are -2.5 with the 46.5 total.
Yeah, they're going on the road to Houston, where they will fail miserably. They've already blown their going to run the table. So the Dolphins are full of Shaq. Houston will beat them.
I don't know. I kind of like the Dolphins this week in Houston. I'm not impressed by the Texans. We shall see.
Well, they have
Bo
to get
Nix.
it right at some point, don't they? Don't they have to? I mean,
do.
they're a division winner, and at some level, are they ever going to F and turn it around and be ready for the playoffs? Or are they just going to lose out? I don't believe that. I don't believe D'Amico Ryans and the Texans are just going to keep losing and playing terrible. At some level, at practice or something, is anybody going to do a damn thing about it?
Got to step up. Someone's got to step up. The other game with all these
Dolphins
teams.
don't step up.
The Dolphins usually don't beat good teams. I just don't know if we put the Texans in the good team category yet. So that's why we'll see what happens. Of course, the Broncos are one of the teams that they're chasing. The Colts are also in the mix for that last spot, if you believe that. Bo Nix is 6-0 against the spread as a favorite this year. 6-0. Broncos at home against the Colts. -4. That's actually down to 3.5 now. -3.5 with the 44.5 total.
I like Denver at home in a Mile High City. Same thing happens to everyone that goes out there. I think at some level you're a 3-point dog walking into that thin air, tired, oxygen, second half, cold, and he got a good defense, and he got a quarterback that covers every time he's favored, and he's been good this year. I got no problem at all going with Sean Payton and Denver. They're flat out better than the Colts. I don't think the Colts are a playoff team. I don't think Richardson's better than Nix either.
Just a couple of other NFL things before I move on. Number one, for the first time in 33 games,
come on,
that's over a few years. The Carolina Panthers are favored in a football game. That's right. They have Dallas in Carolina this Sunday, 1:00 game, and the Panthers are 2.5-point favorites. It took a long time, but there they are. And I'll tell you this too, I like them. I like the way that they've played the last couple of weeks, especially they've played good against really good teams too. Eagles, Chiefs. I think they're going to beat Dallas on Sunday.
And where is this game? Is it in Charlotte?
Carolina. Yep.
And
in
what
Charlotte.
What are they laying?
2.5.
I've actually bet on him 3 weeks in a row and covered. I might as well stay on the horse. I might as well just go there with you and do it. I hope they beat Dallas.
Keep riding, baby. Let's go. Good for the Panthers. Arizona rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't dropped a pass since week 1. That's all fine and good. They've also barely thrown him passes during that time too. Like, can they get him more involved? I mean, geez, throw it to him more, so that maybe who cares if he gets a few drops. They're 6.5-point favorites at home against the Patriots on Sunday in Arizona. So I know that Arizona's been sliding the last few weeks. Nothing can cure you like the Patriots coming to town.
Yeah, that's
maybe.
a game.
No.
That's a game they got to win by 10. That's just got to be inevitable.
Now, this next story, when I saw the headline, I thought this was going to interfere with the Steeler game, but no. It's for the Texan-Raven game. The NFL extends the Christmas halftime for the Beyonce performance, which will be in Houston for the Texans and Ravens. Instead of the standard 12 minutes and 50 seconds, 20 minutes Beyonce gets to play during Christmas Day halftime of that second game of the Christmas
We
doubleheader.
should all be entitled to watch and look at Beyonce for 20 minutes on a Christmas Day. That is the perfect elixir for your Christmas Day, to be able to spend a few quality minutes with Beyonce. I think is a valuable experience, not only for the adults, but also for the young children.
No question about it. And finally, the NFL is going to consider using replay assist for face mask penalties and other plays out there. I actually kind of like the replay assist because it moves things along in a little bit more of a quicker fashion, that replay assist that they've been using recently.
Well, I think it also behooves them to use it based on the fact that I saw Joey Silk have his head taken off the other night in Dallas in front of every ref, and they didn't call it.
And that's the third time that's happened to Burrow this year that it wasn't called. That's the third time he's had his head ripped off with a face mask that they've missed.
They don't care about him.
They do not. They do not
Only Patrick
care about him.
Mahomes gets that treatment.